opinions scream the loudest. It's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
Voice of the People, you can hear me now.
Welcome, guys. The show is Hashtags, and this happens to be the very first edition for this week, and it promises to be a roller coaster. You know that one? A roller coaster, I can tell you that. Lots of breaking news, like state of emergency. That one is breaking. We're going to be running it by you, as well as a number of other issues we're going to be touching on, talking about stories that broke over the weekend, like the TikToker Pella who wanted to commit suicide because he was left by his girlfriend. We also have Tinubu'S, who happens to be a very popular Nigerian actress who gave her life to Christ and is saying her 27-year addiction to smoking is over. But hey, for starters, we will start with topical issues like the state of emergency. That said, this is where we're going to bring you all things trending, all things topical, right here on VOP TV. My name is Vivian Oguche.
Good evening, guys. I'm Ikechukwu Ago. And of course, yes, this is exactly where that question, what's trending, will be answered. And yes, if this is the very first time to part of us, please, I indulge you, please just hit on the subscribe button. And of course, don't forget to share, like, and most importantly, welcome to the family. I must say again, don't forget to also drop your comments on our YouTube platform so we'll get to see it. If you're very much part of the family already, brazen, because this is going to be another explosive edition of the show. Vivian, take us on a ride.
All right, without further ado, let's hit the ground running. We begin with hashtag state of emergency. Last week, the Supreme Court trended over matters regarding Osun State. This time around, Supreme Court is trending again under the hashtag state of emergency. The Supreme Court just ruled that President Tinubu was within his rights to have declared a state of emergency in Rivers State. So the Supreme Court is saying the president, if it is going to lead to anarchy and chaos in the country and a state of emergency needs to be declared in a state, you have the power, you have the authority, and they're saying you can also go ahead, to suspend elected officers. So netizens they are crying wolf. I can tell you that particular hashtag is trending like mad. So I'm just going to take you. Now, you do remember that this is also tied to what happened in Rivers State some months ago, where the president declared a state of emergency, and there was so much hue and cry from the populace that he shouldn't have done it before getting approval from the Senate. People were also saying, look, you are a statesman, a self-acclaimed Democrat who had kicked against the state of emergency when you were in president. It was under former President Goodluck Jonathan, where the president has said, you don't disrupt democracy and all of that. So people are raising up all of these talking points. I take you to X now, so you see how this hashtag is panning out. Thank you. Nigeria Story says, Nigeria's Supreme Court has confirmed the president's constitutional powers to declare a state of emergency in any state facing a potential breakdown of law and order or descent into anarchy. Kechiku, before I take a look at the responses, you do know that not too long ago, President Tinubu had ordered the Nigerian army to go to Benin Republic to quash a coup. It was based on an invitation from Benin Republic itself. This happened before the National Assembly gave its approval. After the deed had been done, the National Assembly now gave its approval. This happens to be a replay of that particular incident. A replay because a state of emergency was declared in Rivers State. After the deed has been done, after the suspended governor has returned to office, is when the Supreme Court is upholding the powers of the president.
Well, I mean, it's just, you know, the states we live in. If we really have, a National Assembly that is really up to doing with their job, you definitely know that, you know, this calls for a very serious question, right? You don't seek approval after you've already taken actions.
Let's also note that the National Assembly also gave approval for the declaration of a state of emergency after it had happened. So
again, for the case of Benin Republic, yes, there were reports that of course, the Constitution also gave credence. I think it's actually, I would like to say credence to the fact that the president can actually seek state
the
council.
National Security Council.
So in place of the Senate, if they actually cannot meet at that point to actually get that approval. So that's on one side.
So we don't know for sure yet if the president consulted the National Security Council.
I want to believe that if push comes to shove, the National Security Council will come out to say the president consulted them.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say
and it's possible that he actually did.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So let's say he actually did. So, but for the case of Rivers State, right, the question is not even whether the president has the right to actually declare state of emergency or not. That's not the question. The Constitution actually empowers the president. The question is, does the Constitution empower the president to suspend the sitting governor?
Which is the other part of it. Yeah. An elected official.
Yes.
Yeah.
So an elected official, a governor, right? The Constitution, I mean, there's actually no, I don't know, except, maybe a lawyer will come here and show us where that actually is. But as far as I know, I don't think there's any place where the Constitution gave the president the power to suspend a sitting governor. That's exactly what the question is.
Netizens are jumping on this particular hashtag. So let me take you back to X now, so you see how Nigerians are responding to hashtag state of emergency. Daniel Rega says, so why was a state of emergency declared in Rivers State but not in any northern state that has been thrown into panic due to countless bandit attacks? Summer Safari says, then peace should prevail in the currently affected states. There is no state in Nigeria at the moment which is under emergency rule. Mr. Caesar says, laws like these has a way of coming to bite the people that made them. We have more reactions. Let's continue to take a look at them. So, God's last born says, it's not if he can declare state of emergency. Of course, he has the constitutional powers to do so. The question is, does he have the constitutional power to suspend an elected executive, governor, and deputy? Stop twisting the issues. They are dodging the question. So this is also talking about, in fact, this is re-echoing your sentiments. Exactly.
That's a big question.
In fact, it wasn't just the governor and the deputy that was suspended. The whole kitchen cabinet of the governor, as well as the state assembly.
Yeah.
Everybody just went home to sit down.
Yeah.
And then a sole administrator was appointed.
So naturally, when a sole administrator steps in, right, it means that at that point there's no democracy.
Yeah.
And what the idea, or what, you know, the difference between dictatorship and democracy is the House of Assembly, right? Or what you want to say, the Senate, right? So without that people's representative, it means there's no democracy. So that's what it means. So once a state of sole administration steps in, I mean, there's nothing like, you know, democracy again at that point. So
there are more reactions from netizens. I'd like for us to take a look at them. Lots of people are actually alluding to what Ikechukwu just talked about. It is hashtag state of emergency. So Fodio says some conditions have to be met before the governor can evoke or invoke such powers. The question is, does he have the power to appoint a sole administrator who will go further to pass the budget and conduct local government elections? Waste the state of emergency declared in... Oh, let me take that again. Was the state of emergency declared in good faith, or was it done to please Wiki? Okocha CFC says, slippery slope. Someone will definitely use it anyhow they like soon. It simply means governors should be very scared of the president, as the president can easily claim potential breakdown of law and order and remove them. This is definitely no longer a democracy. Omo Alafi says, this is a good development. At least it will make our governors sit up and work towards restoring peace in their states. Isn't this interesting? Omo Alafi is directly countering what Okocha CFC is saying. Okocha CFC is saying that then the governors should be shaking in their boots. Omo Alafi is saying it's a good thing. It will make them sit up. What do you think?
It's sad that, you know, we have people who think like this.
Ikechukwu, you can't do that.
No,
You can just make your comments without, you know, lashing out at someone. Everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, but then, right?
We're wrapping up.
Yeah, but then, if you actually want a progressive society, if you actually want a society, a true federal state, right? The governors should have, you know, that sole right to actually, you know, run their state. Now, if there's an issue, right, and then the governors, you actually want peace, you know, because now we're looking at Nigeria as a whole now. You want peace to actually, you know, be restored in the states. You can declare state of emergency, but the governors will still have power to carry its function, you know, do everything that they have to do democratically. I mean, Jonathan also declared state of emergency during the time in the North, but no governor was removed. These are the examples that we're talking about. Yes.
There was no sole administrator that was appointed.
No.
Exactly.
So you
that's the bone of contention.
You can push in the military to, you know, to restore order if you feel that the governor has been overwhelmed. Pushing the military to restore order, since we are running a federal military and a federal policing. So pushing these guys to actually restore order, take security off the hands of governor, but then you remove the governor.
The thing is, one of the netizens had asked that was the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State done in good faith. I mean, it is water under the bridge. Just shortly after it happened, the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef, had come out to say, look, what President Tinubu did was to save the office of Sim Fubara. Sim Fubara himself came out last week to say, look, what Mr. President did was to save him. That if it wasn't for President Tinubu and the declaration of the state of emergency, there would be no His Excellency Fubara. Well, and then he decided, in honor of what the president had done for him, to decamp from the PDP to the ruling APC, and he's now standing on the mandate of the president. I think we can wrap it up there.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next hashtag now, which is hashtag from soldier to statesman. So today, President Tinubu unveiled the book in honor of the late President Muhammadu Buhari, and it held at Aso Rock. Lots of bombshell, I can tell you. It's, I'm going to give you a sneak peek in a while, right? This was what Lai Mohammed, former information minister, was about when he went around granting, you know, interviews. I was wondering when he started talking about SARS, NSARS, when he started talking about the banning of X, then Twitter. This was it. Lai Mohammed is the one who wrote this book, talking about the legacy of the late President Muhammadu Buhari, whose posthumous birthday is on the 17th of December. He's going to be 83, or he was going to be 83 if he was still on planet Earth. So there's going to be a book launch on the 17th. But today was the unveiling, the presentation by the president at Aso Rock. Let me take you to X now So you see the first post that's going to lead us to a series of videos. It is hashtag from soldier to statesman. Let's do it. So this, let me say, kudos goes to Leadership newspaper for this reporting, right? They were the one that gave us, you know, a detailed story to it, a meat of it, one of the publications. So it says, President Bola Tinubu on Monday unveiled a commemorative book titled From Soldier to Statesman, the legacy of Muhammadu Buhari, paying tribute to the late former president. The unveiling ceremony took place at the State House Banquet Hall in the Presidential Villa, Abuja, and was presided over by former Information Minister Lai Mohammed. Among those present were notable dignitaries, including state governors and members of Buhari's family. The multi-volume book traces Buhari's remarkable journey from his early years as a military officer and head of state between 1983 and 1985 to his tenure as Nigeria's democratically elected president from 2015 to 2023. Edited by Dr. Udu Yakubu, the collection features contributions such as a memoir by former presidential spokesperson Femi Adesina. You do remember him, he was the late President Buhari's spokesman, one of his spokesmen. And then Leadership newspaper goes on to say the work underscores key themes of national unity, the fight against corruption and infrastructure development, while also engaging with ongoing discussions about Buhari's economic policies and security challenges. Take a look at the unveiling done by President Tinubu.
That said, the unveiling of the book, From Soldier to Statesman, the legacy of Muhammad.
All right, credit goes to the NTA for that particular one. The packaging alone looks really good. But hey, netizens are bringing out so much talking points from this one. So this is me whetting your appetite. Yeah, so just sit still and see how this one pans out. There's another post put up by Nigerian Stories and another video I'd like for you to take a look at. So let's go back to X now so you take a look at Nigeria Stories, who says, late President Muhammadu Buhari's new book contains answers to questions like, what were Buhari's instructions during NSAS? I'm sure you're going to be interested in that one, Ikechukwu. How was the CBN captured by the cabal? That tells you that this book is somewhere implying that the CBN was captured by the cabal. And then it goes on to say, was Buhari's signature forged? Somewhere it was said Buhari's signature was forged on a document. And last but not least, what killed Buhari in July 2025? Now, that is a mouth-watering question. That's the video, guys. Take a listen.
What was wrong with Buhari when he was sick in the 2017-2018 years? The answer is in the book. What were the internal intrigues behind the sack of Lawal Daura as DSS boss? The answer is in the book. What role, or what was the role of the cabal in shaping the Buhari presidency? Why did they fight his family to a standstill? The answer is in the book. What was the plan of the cabal for the APC presidential primaries before it was thwarted just a few hours before the event? By the way, Mr. President, the cabal wanted somebody else to win that primary. The details are in the book. How was the CBN captured by the cabal? The answer is in the book. Was Buhari's signature forged? Was there a signature stamp? Did somebody assign his signature? The answer is in the book. Why did Buhari resort, and this is one of those strange revelations you'll find in the book, why did Buhari resort to conversing with his family with pen and paper in his office? Because he said his office was bugged. Who bugged the office of the president? The answer is in the book. Was Buhari office and bedroom bugged? The answer is in the book. Why was it that several people gave account of Buhari about to give a speech and found out that the speech he approved was not the speech he was given? It's been swapped several times. The answer is in the book. What were Buhari's instructions during the NSAS? The answer is in the book. And finally, what killed President Buhari in July 2025? The answer is in the book. Personally,
Oh my gosh. Personally, what were you going to say? The answer is in the book. Did you catch that moment where Aisha Buhari, the former First Lady, seated beside the current First Lady, Olorami Tinubu, and the President, exchanged this look when it was said that the cabal didn't want President Tinubu to emerge as the APC presidential candidate? Oh my God. Thank you, you guys. Awesome crew there. That's it. Check it out. That's the look I'm talking about. It's going to happen.
And the president also smiled.
The president smiled. Look, that's the first lady looking at him, and then that's Aisha Buhari. That's, if looks could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that what happened tells a million stories, right?
Yeah, I mean, the presence of the former first lady there says a lot about, her agreeing with the book.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And her relationship with the current president.
I also want to believe that, she might have, an input in the outcome of the book.
Did you remember how at some point during her husband's presidency, she had said the cabal had taken over his government?
Yeah, she said a lot of things. Yeah, at some point, she even also said that the man in Asrock is not my husband.
She didn't say that.
Yeah.
She
didn't mean it like man, no.
Let's look. We are not doing sensationalism here. See, I'm even biting my words. Now, it was said that Buhari was not Buhari, that he was Jibril from Sudan.
No, that's not even the thing. Right. What I'm saying is, she's speaking.
She never said Buhari was
she's
not
speaking
her
in
husband.
terms of the cabal capturing her husband. That's what she was saying.
That's you interpreting what you think she meant. Are you a mind reader?
Well, that's what I mean.
Well, let's not even go there.
But she made a comment like
no
that.
Conspiracy theories.
No, I'm not making conspiracy.
Let's move on to what they said about the CBN being captured.
Yeah, but then lots of talks. The president's signature being forged. Of course, and
his office and bedroom being bought.
Of course, we know the story of the rodent, how the president was unable to actually frame an additional. Also, Garba Shehu came out and said, "Hey, this incident actually we made that up because we." Garba
Shehu being one of the presidential spokesmen.
The truth is, there's a lot of reason to believe that Buhari wasn't in charge. This is exactly what this book is telling us.
But some netizens are saying, why wait till he died before bringing this up?
But the truth is, if he's alive, right, you want to tell his story, he has to see it. And he's definitely going to give approval. I don't want this to come out, and I don't want this to come out.
Well, you don't know that, right? Because you don't know the man Buhari.
That's the thing, right? Yeah. But, for a man who has attained the highest office in the land, there are certain things that he wouldn't want to reveal. And that he's a politician, he's a statesman. He's also a man who a lot of persons will definitely come to for advice and all of that. So this actually just shows that,
but there are statesmen or former rulers like the Maradona, talking about Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, who came out not too long ago to touch on a very contentious issue, to say that the nullification of an election that was touted, June 12, to be the most transparent, the nullification, he said, was carried out by his chief of staff, the late Abacha. Do you think IBB would have let that slide lightly?
Okay, so for the case of IBB, right? IBB gave a reason why, right? In the military,
So Buhari probably would have, let this slide and then give a reason why.
No.
But you know why? What I don't want us to do. Let's not make
IBB's case,
yeah.
right? For the IBB's case, it's not about him not being in charge. No, he actually, according to what he said, he foresaw it could happen.
So, if your chief of staff nullifies an election that was touted home and abroad as the most transparent, your chief of staff does that. Not at your behest. What do you describe that? So do you describe it as him being in charge?
No, see.
But I don't want us to argue about this. This is not IBB that
I'm not saying.
Can we go back to X? The netizens are reacting to hashtag from soldier to statesman. I want us to take a look at how they are actually digesting this particular matter. So let's go back to X now, so you say it. We don't want to make conjectures here. The book is going to be out, and it looks like people are gearing up to buy it because there are lots of appetizers. OPGiri says, if the book exposes how the CBN was captured by the cabal, that's an admission that Nigeria's central bank was compromised, which means every monetary policy decision is now questionable. Investor confidence tanks. Who wants to invest in a country where the central bank was controlled by shadowy figures? And the Naira's credibility, already weak, would collapse further. We are talking billions in economic damage. I think he makes a comeback again. OPGiri, is that a he or a she? If it's a she, I beg your pardon. Let's go to the next post. OPGiri makes a comeback again. Says it better not be, because if Buhari's book confirms his signature was forged, we are talking about potential constitutional crisis. Laws passed during his tenure could be nullified, policies reversed, and contracts voided. The legal and political fallout will be massive. OPGiri again says, why would Buhari or anyone close to him publish a book that destroys his legacy and destabilizes Nigeria? If this book is real and contains these answers, it's either A, a deathbed confession, Buhari or his estate feels guilty and wants the truth out, consequences be damned. B, a political weapon, someone is using Buhari's book to settle scores, expose enemies, or shift blame. C, complete fabrication. This is bait designed to trend, to make you click, and to sell a fake book or push a narrative. I'm leaning toward C. I don't know. A, B, C. Which one are you leaning toward?
The three of them.
Aha, okay. How do you even explain that?
Well, I mean,
all of the above.
Yeah, there's credibility in all of it. So it's possible that it could be all of it, and just want to destabilize the country, and of course want to sell a book. It's very possible.
There are more reactions. Let's go back to X now. There's an interesting one I would like for you to take a look at. It's still hashtag from soldier to statesman. Thank you. Cheesy Vincent says, Buhari was alive during the EndSARS. He had all the time in the world to have addressed the situation with the EndSARS and whatever happened in CBN. Why did he have to know his thoughts about all of these? Or why did we have to know his thoughts about all of this in a book after his demise? That's $1 million question.
That's what I'm saying. If he was alive, this won't come out.
So this is what he said. There are two knotty issues he touched on, which is the EndSARS saga as well as the CBN saga. Let's talk about the CBN. It was some mighty problem in Nigeria that period, where you had money in the banks but you couldn't access it, where the currency was changed shortly before a general election, and there was massive cash crunch. That is the CBN saga. And then the EndSARS one, where Lai Mohammed was talking last week to say that people said there was a massacre, but there was nothing like that at the toll gate, which was a boiling point of the hashtag EndSARS saga. So your final thoughts before we wrap up this hashtag.
So for the CBN, right, for people who actually witnessed Buhari's first regime as adults, they will tell you, yes, Buhari actually did the same thing, when he actually got into office, he swapped the Naira at the point.
In the 80s.
Yeah, in the 80s. And then, a lot of persons actually really struggled and all of that. Now he's also doing the same thing. So basically that the idea of swapping this Naira now is still very much his idea.
So I did a report on it, right? And one of the things the then CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, came out to say was that one of the major reasons why this particular thing happened, talking about the redesigning of the Naira, was to be able to trace monies to the accounts of kidnappers. They were at the height of it that period. There was lots of kidnapping and paying of ransom and all. The CBN said it wanted to trace, monies. It also said it wanted to mop up excess cash from the people's hands so that the CBN will have control over money. It also wanted to push the cashless policy. You remember the cashless policy? So it said a number of these things was why, they did what they did. But also, conspiracy theorists will say that one of the reasons why that happened was to stop President Bola Tinubu's presidency.
I'm not even going to the political angle now, right? I'm looking at the economy angle. Also, the reasons, in fact, the major reason why he actually did it in the 80s was that, there's a lot of counterfeits, naira, because of people who are actually peddling drugs.
And they wanted to mop up cash.
Yes, they also want to mop up cash. So you see that, the reasons are quite almost the same thing from what happened in the 80s and now.
Not totally.
Yeah, that's why I say almost the same, because of course the issue.
Well, not
the issue
totally.
Not totally.
Yeah.
But almost the same.
Not almost.
Okay. There are similarities. Good.
In some cases.
Yeah. So now, in that case, right, we have case of, the both of the same person, having the same idea of, this is the best way to actually sort out problems like this. So what I'm saying is, this is very much still the same Buhari's idea, right? The execution might actually be terrible. If you talk about kidnapping at the time of Buhari's era, and of course, they will still facing this same, heavy kidnapping, paying of ransom. Even now, people still, go through the same. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think anything has changed as regards people paying ransom or not.
Yeah, but come to think of it, the redesigning of the naira was totally a fluke, right? Because we are still using the same old 1,000 and 200
we are
and
using
500. So monies were wasted.
So now, right, to the case of the NSAS, we all witnessed, we saw what happened. I mean, people who, blood stains, obviously, we didn't get to see a lot of bodies, but then there are people who actually really came out later, injured. Some of them lost their limbs, some of them lost their hands, and I mean, quite.
For my information, Mr. Lai Mohammed's argument on a televised interview was that, okay, so if there was a massacre, where are the family of these people? I beg your pardon. That nobody came out afterwards to say my son, my daughter, is missing or had died, and the spot of the assassination was the toll gate, which is what he said last week.
I think there's this report that was done. I can't remember by.
Yeah, but states had different committees set up to investigate, the allegations of death and all of that. At the toll gate.
So there's this report that was done, right, where people actually came out, some of them who were actually injured, some of them who family and all of that. People, kept talking about it. The thing is, a lot of them actually, one of the things so many of these people, came out to say in the end was that they're actually afraid. I mean, if they can actually go survive, this particular one. I mean, talking about,
So you're saying people died, but their families were afraid to come say it?
A lot of persons are afraid.
That's what
you don't believe it?
I don't believe it.
Okay.
But Lai Mohammed was saying that people were injured, and like you said, there were reports of people coming out to say they were injured and all, but that there were no proof that there was a massacre. It's just
okay,
like
but people died, but it wasn't.
You probably will have to ask Lai Mohammed that question. But we move on to the next hashtag now, which is hashtag Aliko Dangote. Last week, the billionaire businessman trended. This week again, he's trending. But this time around, he's poking a finger at a government official, right? And this fight is dirty. It's dirty. It's going places. It's got tongues wagging on social media, especially on X. So I don't want to talk too much. Linda Ikeji has this. Let me take you to X now so you see. Linda Ikeji and a number of other publications. Linda Ikeji, Instablog Niger. It is Aliko Dangote. The fight is getting dirty. It's all about regulation of oil price. And netizens are jumping on this one. Let's do it. Let's go to X now as we take a look at the post. Hashtag Aliko Dangote. So, why it is trending says Farouk Ahmed. So, it is also trending as Farouk Ahmed, as well as Aliko Dangote. Why it is trending says Farouk Ahmed is trending in Nigeria because the head of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, has been publicly accused by Aliko Dangote of corruption and economic sabotage. At a widely watched press briefing, Dangote alleged that Ahmed lives far beyond his official income, citing claims of millions of dollars spent on foreign school fees, while also accusing him of blocking local refining and favoring fuel imports. He went further to talk about his family and all. But let's take a look at the next post, shall we? Linda Ikeji blog says, Malam Farouk has 4 of his children whom he educated in Switzerland at a cost of $5 million for their secondary school education alone. not university. When you look at his income does not match paying this kind of fees. And even if it's me paying $5 million for 6 years for my 4 children, the taxman has to look at my taxes and how much I pay. Dangote accuses NMDPRA CEO Farouk Ahmed of corruption. Take a listen, guys.
And I think it is something that when you look at it, I've had actually people making complaint about a regulator who has actually put his children in secondary school, and that secondary school education, which is 6 years, 4 of them cost Nigeria $5 million. I mean, you cannot imagine somebody paying $5 million for educating 5 children. Even my own children, they didn't go to those schools. My children went to Nigerian secondary school. They didn't go outside Nigeria to attend to secondary school. I don't know about your children, Tony, but mine, yes. So, and this is a system that, some of us, because what, we're taxpayers. When people are complaining, we also complain, because the issue is that, yes, when I pay tax, I want to see that my money is being put to use, not to be stolen. But today, as we speak, the S, I don't know what is the, that is the authority chief executive, Malam Farouk. Malam Farouk has 4 of his children that he educated in Switzerland at the cost of $5 million for their secondary school education alone, not university. And I know that one of them just finished Harvard. So I want to now see what kind of system are we operating that, people are now busy destroying a country, taking money from the government. Because when you look at his income does not match paying this kind of fees. I think even if it's me paying $5 million for 6 years for my 4 children, the taxman has to look at my taxes, how much I paid. And really, this sort of thing we're not going.
And he named names, right? Dangote, I don't know, he's becoming a fighter. I never knew he was capable of this. But hey, what led to this? This tug of war has been raging between Mr. Farouk and Mr. Dangote since, the talk of him building a refinery came on board. I'll say when he wanted to go, when he wanted to become operational. In 2024, the head of this regulating agency that Dangote is poking fingers at had said that they had concerns about substandard products coming from the Dangote refinery. That was one of the issues Dangote had, one of the mountains he had to climb, one of the Goliaths he had to slay before his refinery became operative. So netizens are reacting to this. Remember that in that video you just watched, Dangote was kind of asking the authorities to take a look at Mr. Farouk's, books. He was talking about the taxpayers' money being used badly and unpleasantly and all of that for family matters as against, government directive. Let me take you back to X now so you see how netizens are reacting to this one before Ikechukwu will jump on it. Let's do it. Hashtag Aliko Dangote. Thank you. Thomas says $5 million is equivalent to about 7 billion naira. If you're building each secondary school for 250,000 naira, you will build 28,000 schools. I doubt if the entire South state, I should say, has that amount of public schools. You can imagine. But can you use 250,000 naira to build a school? But I'm just saying. Agbe says this means when some other rich folks start getting in the fight against corruption, we will get somewhere. If you think you made your money in a clean way, join the fight. Mo NTU says, that'll be Montu, says data boys and girls Children of the poor will somehow get paid 20K to attack Dangote and defend those who's fleeting away their future and that of their children. We can't build a country like this where people like Yahya Bello will be walking free after these criminal acts. More reactions, let's go and take a look at them. But Honorable Real One says, I suspect that Dangote does not have competent media advisors. Targeting Malam Farouk's family is a disgraceful move, an act of desperation, and a clear indication of Dangote's weakness. Farouk has done nothing wrong except to challenge you based on facts, professionalism, and in providing regular updates on our monthly oil consumption. This should not justify the attack on his children and family members. In addition, his children are on scholarship abroad, implying that Dangote lied and has turned himself into a blackmailer. All right, what do you make of this? Honorable Real One is totally towing a different path, but it looks like lots of netizens are on the side of Dangote, and they're saying if the elite jumps on this fight against corruption, the fight will go somewhere.
Yeah, I was about to starting from that point, because it's people like Dangote that will definitely start the fight. You know, check anywhere revolution happen, it's definitely people at the top that will lead it. All they need to do is just to, light the fire.
Yeah.
And of course, the people who are actually feeling the most of it is definitely, catch it and then lead and, take over the whole space. It's sad that, if Dangote's claim turns out to be true, that means we're in a very, very, serious situation. And this is a wake-up call. I mean, Dangote is not a man who you just want to dismiss his words. I don't want to believe that at his level, managing a very big group of company, he'll just come to speak without, having his facts checked. I want to believe that he has done his own homework somewhere to understand that, these kids are actually not really, under any sort of scholarship. And that's exactly why he's actually coming out to actually saying this. This is me assuming because of Dangote's, personality. I want to believe he has done that before he's out here speaking this.
So you're disagreeing with Honorable Real
Yeah,
One?
absolutely. Dangote is a man who has actually gone through a lot before he set up this refinery. And of course, there's a lot of fight still ongoing. It's not done yet, but then at least there's this, light obviously at the end of the tunnel that he can actually see now. That's exactly why he can boldly come out to actually say these things. I want to believe this is when the EFCC and the ICPC should step in to check this man's book, as Dangote actually claimed, to actually see, if it actually tallies with, the school fees he's actually paying. Let him even come out and say, okay, these are the scholarship my kids are on. I don't agree with the fact that Honorable Lukman is saying he's actually targeting his family. I mean, the money we're talking about is Nigeria's money. So if Dangote actually has facts, it doesn't matter where he's spending it. The fact is he's spending it. So we have to actually call for accountability.
Aren't you surprised that any time cases like this are brought up, netizens will always call the name of former Kogi State Governor Yahya Bello? You saw that netizen, and you laughed.
Is the star boy?
Yeah, but well, maybe look, you are not guilty until proven guilty. Maybe because his case is somehow similar a little bit to Farouk Lawan's. He's under investigation, right? Because they said he had used, government money.
Endless investigation.
Government money to pay school fees, in an international school for his children in Abuja. But that case is still under investigation, right?
You know why his own case is, surprising to a lot of persons, why it keeps popping up, is the fact that Yahya Bello appears very brazen about it. For some persons, when they go through this sort of thing, they'll just lay low.
Pipe low.
But for him, he still comes out to tell the assembly member, just sign it. Now, it says a lot about, what's going to happen. There's no pot big enough in this country to cook me.
Well, the EFCC is on it, so let's hold our horses and see how that one pans out. Let's quickly take a look at some of the stories that broke over the weekend that has continued to trend into today, this new working week. The next hashtag now is hashtag Pella. You do know the very popular TikToker. So his girlfriend left him, according to Pella's narrative in the video you're about to watch. And so Pella is saying that he was going to commit suicide and indulge in reckless driving. He almost died, really. He was rescued at some point. So we have videos, 2 videos you're going to be watching. But first, let's take it to X so you see the narratives that are going to be leading us up to the videos you're about to watch. Yeah? Hashtag Pella. Let's do it. So, Punch Newspaper says, Pella crashes car during live stream, sparks public concern. Popular TikTok content creator and live streamer Hamzat Habib, popularly known as Pella, has sparked outrage and concern after crashing his car during a live broadcast on Lekki Ekpe Expressway in Lagos. This is actually a violation, right, when it comes to driving?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a video. Why don't you take a listen, guys?
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to kill myself. I'm scared. I'm scared.
So that's him crying, and if you didn't catch some part of what he was saying, he was actually saying he was going to commit suicide because his girlfriend had left him. This is raising a lot of talk, including the issue of mental health and all. But do you think it's actually content creation? It just might not be, because we have another publication that is going to be telling us in a short while. Let's take a look at the next publication that says Pella was rescued and rushed to the hospital. So this definitely can be content creation. Let's take a look at the next post that will lead us up to the next video. Gossip Mail Nigeria says, pray for Pella. So this was yesterday. TikToker Pella has been rescued and rushed to the hospital. He tried to kill himself after his girlfriend and first love, Jarvis, broke up with him. He crashed his 100 million naira Benz in a bid to kill himself. Please say a word of prayer for him. Well, I hope he's well. That's me saying a word of prayer for him. Take a look, guys. All right, so this happened along the Lekki-Aja Express Road. Did you see some social media users saying rest in peace, Pella? Pella is not dead yet. He's very much alive. At this point, breaking news, I'm just saying this. It just popped up on my timeline. The FRSC is to prosecute Pella after a car crash. There's a little note that comes on it. It says, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has ordered the prosecution of popular TikTok streamer Habib Hamzat, popularly known as Pella, following a road traffic crash linked to distracted driving. So the allegation now is distracted driving. Lots of netizens are reacting to this one. Lots of them very cold. But there was one I had to pick out because he tied this up to the issue of mental health. And he's also calling for an intervention. And he also was alluding to the fact that Pella probably got money too early in life. Let me take you back to X so you see how this particular netizen is intervening. Ayo, Dara's dad, says, I hope he's arrested, given the proper mental care he needs. Advice to go back to school so he can understand money without sense is futile. Ikechukwu, quickly. Few seconds.
Well, love, they say, is the death of reason. So when you're in love like that, most times, your ability to actually reason tanks. And that's exactly what we see.
That's the angle you want to take this from?
I mean, I don't want to believe there's any mental issue.
The FRSC, they're going to prosecute him. I think we'll leave it at that. I want us to quickly take a look at this next hashtag, Tontodike, before we wrap this up. So, popular Nigerian actress, Nollywood actress, Tontodike, was in church yesterday and she gave a testimony. She said, an addiction that has lasted for 27 years has been broken, and she was giving glory to God. Let's take a look at this video, guys.
Have sexual intercourse in the dream ever since I was a child. God healed me from masturbation too.
How would you shout
let me tell you how we shout, because I've been shouting for a long time now. I've been shouting because God has been faithful. God has been good to me. This is not just a testimony, but a thanksgiving to God. You see, the devil tried to stop this testimony a couple of times. The devil tried to tell me that I was bigger than this, coming to church to say my testimony. The devil tried to tell me that I was supposed to protect my image. But I looked at myself and I told myself, what image? What image? I know. The God that gave me the image, or the one that can take it away just like that? No, the devil was too small for me to not say this. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you. Thank you, sweet Holy Spirit. Hooray!
So Tonto DK says she started smoking from the age of 13 because she saw family members do it. So 27 years of smoking is over, and that was her testimony. Time will not permit Ikechukwu to react. Yeah, we'll probably do this some other time.
I don't want to react.
But congratulations to Tonto
DK.
DK. One of the netizens online went to ask her to remain in church and continue to stay under the word of God so she doesn't backslide. On that note, we wrap it up. I got to say, thanks to the incredible team behind the scene. Thank you for making it work. I appreciate it. Thanks to you guys, too, for watching. In fact, the bigger thanks goes to you for watching. If you liked it, keep a David, Ikechukwu, and I for another edition of Hashtags right here. Same time, same station. Until then, I am Vivian Oguche. Bye.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Voice of the people. You can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP.